is we want to keep everybody informed as best possible. That's why we have somebody here to film it. Thanks, Nicole. To post it online afterwards for other people to see as well. And for you guys here as well to ask the candidates any questions that you have in mind. Yeah, and basically give candidates more of a forum to talk formally about each other's, or about their own platforms and question each other about each other's platforms and things like that. So I'm going to briefly go over the rules of today's debate. And if you have questions about the rules, save them for the end. Yeah, there'll be time for that. So the rules are, each candidate will be allowed in the beginning to give a 2-minute opening statement, and we'll go through one by one. After which, we will be asking questions to candidates. So what I can do is, I'll be asking some questions that are compiled from online and other sources, and then I'll also direct time for when you guys have questions to the candidates. And the questions can be either towards all the candidates or a specific candidate. In terms of the candidates answering questions, we'll rotate them through who gets to start, and I'll make that sort of direction. And unless it's a question that's specifically directed towards a candidate. So when you guys ask questions, you can ask a question that's specific towards somebody, and they'll get to answer that question first, but I'll also give time for any other candidate who wants to respond to also do so. So for each response, they'll get 60 seconds, and I'll sort of raise my hand when the time's up, and I'll cut you off if need be. We're trying to keep things moving forward and get through as many questions or as much interaction as we can. And yeah. And at the end of the session, I will allow some time for candidates to ask each other questions as well. So any other questions about questions or rules? Okay, cool. So yeah, at this point, I'd like to introduce all 4 of our candidates. On the far left here, we have Shen Wu, NSI 123, followed by Abhishek Mathur, who is MEC 1T2 plus PY, followed by Rishi Maharaj, who is NSI 1T2 plus PY, and last but not least, Huynh, Chem 1T2 plus PY. And we'll begin the opening statements with Shane.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Shen Wu, and I think many of you won't know me because I'm totally new to NSOC. And the reason I nominated myself to run for president is because I felt NSOC was lacking in important things. I don't see NSOC just as a student body to manage the resources. I see it more as taking more active leadership role in bringing the entire U of T community, the U of T engineering community forward, and make improvements at much larger scales. If I were to become president, there's 3 things I want to do. First, I want to bring more industry connections to U of T. And one way to do that is to have specialized programs that allow students to take part-time jobs to earn towards some credits. So because U of T is lacking optionality, I think this will add values to U of T engineering in general. Secondly, I want to promote U of T engineering at much larger scale, international scale. I want to facilitate the communication between U of T with other universities across in other countries. And through making the student network, I want eventually, if we can establish more of the exchange networks to add values to more students. And then thirdly, the most important, I want to keep the doors open for all the students. The first thing I'll do if I get elected is to set up a box in front of NSOC office, and then have comment box to which only I have the access, and I'll read all the requests you guys make and respond with the appropriate time and take actions. I also go to each class to make individual announcements. I'm basically here. I actually need to leave at 6 p.m. to make important announcements for entrepreneurship competition as part of MBTC. And I'm here mainly because I want to support you guys in selecting the best presidential candidates for the coming school year. Right now we have 3 amazing candidates. They're all great. And one recommendation I want to give is that don't be satisfied with just running the NSOC as it is traditionally. I want you guys to always challenge yourself and go beyond the boundary. Oh, yeah, oh, okay. So don't be scared of long-term projects, because if you're doing good to your NSOC, you can always find the people that will continue. And try to aim to have legacy so that in 5 to 10 years, you can come back and see confidently that that's a program I started, and then that's why U of T is the best engineering school in Canada. You can say that. And I hope one of you will take that forward.
Thanks, Shen. Next, let's Abhishek.
All right, hey guys. My name is Abhishek. I'm at 122 as Wayne said. So, why I'm running for Engineering Society President? I have two ideas that I want to implement, and I guess I want to take forward for Engineering Society and set those as a priority for the Engineering Society. Those two ideas and the vision that I have for NSOC are actually two key things why you guys are actually here as students. One is education, and second is jobs. Those are two main reasons, overarching reasons why you guys are here. Extracurriculars and everything, they fall in afterwards. So since those two are your priorities, I want to make those two NSOC's priorities. So for education, actually, what I want to propose as one of the projects would be to implement a video recording system in class. So Nicole here does not have to record it. It can be done through a projector in the back. And after that, whoever wants to take a look at it, we can do that. So that is very useful in courses because in case you are to miss lecture for some reason or another, in case a professor goes really fast, you can go back online and refer back to it. So that's one of my projects. I've actually experienced this in one of my classes, and it's been an excellent program that was implemented as a pilot project. Got great feedback from that. Secondly, in terms of jobs, I want to bring out better jobs to you guys. I'm on PEY right now. I remember about a year from now, on PlacePro, looking around for good jobs. That didn't really happen. I know, now I'm working at Bombardier actually, and talking to their HR and whatnot, I found out that they hire more from Ryerson and Carleton rather than U of T NSOC Aeros. Reason for that is because the employers have a better relationship with the career centers at these universities. So I want to work with the career centers at U of T to establish these relationships so we can have better jobs, better employers coming up for our students, whether it be for summer, PEY, or full-time afterwards. So, two main reasons why I want to run for Engineering Society President is to align your priorities with NSOC's, and which are education and jobs.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Rishi?
Hi everyone. So let me tell you a little bit about the reasons why I decided to run for Engineering Society President. I really believe in the value of NSOC as a student government to accomplish a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do without having a student government. So we have NSOC. NSOC has 30-odd directors, it has a board of directors, it has officers, it has all these people that are involved with it. It has a budget of almost $300,000 a year. So the question that every student should be asking themselves is, what is NSOC doing for me? And the trend that I noticed over the last few years is a trend of declining interest and declining involvement in the Engineering Society. Our elections turnout last year was less than 10%. And for me, as a member of a student government, that tells me that we're not doing our job. If we're not even engaging people enough that they actually want to get out and decide who's going to run their organization for the next year, we're not doing the things that we need to be doing as a student government. Now, I really believe in the potential that we have as NSOC to get things done. And let me give you some examples of the things that NSOC is doing right now that are great. I'm proud of the commercial operations that we have, the engineering store that we have that sells thousands of textbooks a year. It's a tremendous service to students, something that we wouldn't be able to do without having an NSOC. Okay, we have our exams database that we were able to get all those exams from the faculty by negotiating with them as a block. That's something we couldn't have without an NSOC, and I want to build more of those services, more of those things that really require you to have a student government that demonstrate the value of having this organization from year to year. Because if NSOC is just going to run social events, NSOC is just going to do the things that clubs are going to do anyway, what's the point of having an NSOC? What's the point of having all these guys in hard hats who like to stand up and get their photo taken and look like they're doing something useful when all the real work is being done by clubs? So let me tell you about what I'm going to do to make NSOC more relevant to students. I'm going to increase clubs funding by 50%, and that's going to really enable clubs to increase the activities that they're doing, and that tremendous diversity of experiences that we get from all the clubs we have at U of T. All of those things will just be that much better when they have access to a larger pool of funding. I want to take on academic issues, the stuff that affects you in the classroom. That's what really matters to all of our students, because we all at the end of the semester got to go on Rosie and see whether it says pass or pass with probation, or maybe I don't know what the other option is, but I guess it probably says fail or pass with honors. I've never seen that one, but that one's nice too. So I want to take on the academic issues that everyone has And I want to take those to the faculty and make sure we're getting those addressed. And those 2 points, collabs and academics, the main 2 parts of my platform, and why I want to make NCHLOC and how I want to make NCHLOC work for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Albert?
All right, guys. So thank you so much for everybody to give us your wonderful speeches. Again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Albert Huynh, and to really reflect what a great pool of candidates we have here, I think that in a lot of ways the 4 of us actually share very similar directions, a very similar vision. Right? I think we all recognize that NSOC has this immense potential to really serve student body as a large organization. I mean, we represent 4,500 to 4,700 students, one of the biggest student organizations in Canada, right? I mean, it's really a shame that we're not tapping into that. So, why am I running for NSOC president? Because I think that the one pitfall really that NSOC has been facing lately, or maybe for a while now, is a lack of, as Shane mentioned, long-term vision to fulfill this potential. So, what does that mean? It's about building foundations. It's about building frameworks such that we don't just do things on a 1-year time frame. I mean, the faculty, they work in their positions for 4 or 5 years, or if they're a tenured professor, they could be there for 20, 30 years. I mean, if they really wanted to, they can outlast us, right? At the end of the day, what we need to do is we need to create a sustainable framework for the big issues that these guys have all brought up. And again, we all agree on this. Academic issues and professional development. I mean, these are 2 huge things that we really don't have a system for that works properly. So, that's kind of the main idea behind my platform, to build those foundations in, to build the frameworks, and create the communication channels and the processes such that people know who to talk to, where to go, and who's accountable. What are the objectives? What are we actually aiming to do as an organization? Has anybody ever asked that? I mean, sometimes, even being a past VP, it's hard for me to answer that question because they've never been laid out in stone. Are we aiming to see a 20% increase in, student feedback forms for professors? Or are we aiming to see, 20 more, companies at the career fair next year? What are the targets? What are the metrics? And how do we know if we're successful or not, right? So these are the kinds of things that we have to look towards to really establish good long-term planning and really unlock the potential of engineering society as an organization. So that's a little bit about why I'm running for presidency. But, that aside, I think that each and every one of us has a part to play. As much as it's important to highlight our position here, everyone here also has a part to play in that NSOC. So keep that in mind for the future.
Thank you.